with Notre Dame landing a commitment today from a 2024 defensive lineman that we were not expecting. The young man's name is Brandon Davis-Swain. He is a 6'4", 240-pound player from West Bloomfield, Michigan. It's right outside of Detroit. So Notre Dame picks up one of the best players from the city of from that Detroit area. Very talented player, and it marks the second year in a row. I believe it's only two. I don't think the first commitment from the previous year, I believe, was an offensive lineman. I could be wrong on that. I believe Joey Tanona was the first commitment in the 2022 class. But for the second year in a row, Notre Dame kicks off their their recruiting class with a defensive lineman, which is big. Little background on Brandon Davis-Swain. He is like I said, a talented player, 6'4", 240 from West Bloomfield. And he is ranked as, I'm pulling up here now. I believe I'm correct on this, but he is ranked as the number 63 player in the country, according to the On3 ranking. So very, very talented player, ranked as the number 7 defensive lineman in the country, number 3 player in the state of Michigan for his class. 247 Sports ranks him number 158. Rivals ranks him number 190. But Rivals also ranks him number 190, but they do rank him as the number 9 D lineman. So they think he's one of the 10 best defensive linemen in that class. Very interesting player. We're going to pull some film up here in a little bit on him and really break down his film. So he's a kid that I think brings a lot of value to the table for Notre Dame, and intriguing player. You know, when I watch the kid, I think one of the things that I see is he's built kind of like right now today as a defensive lineman. He's 6'4", 240, or defensive end. He's 6'4", 240, built more like a defensive end. But when you look at his size, that's how he is right now. I'm going to pull up some film here in a second. But he's a guy that when you look at his frame, it's like he's just kind of guy. He reminds me a lot of Brendan Vernon at the same age. You know, Brendan Vernon was like 6'4", 6'5", like 235, 240 pounds as a sophomore. But you could just see the frame that he's going to really fill out. And that's how I feel about Brandon Davis-Swain. So he's a guy that you watch him. We're going to watch some film here in a little bit. He's a talented player. We've seen him before. He's a good athlete, fluid athlete for his size, quick off the ball. Plays a lot more inside than he does on the edge, which is a reason why I think, there's some projection to him being an interior player. But I think from what we see of him right now, I could see him being a big end unless he completely, just blows up over the next couple of years. I think he's kind of got the frame and the body, in my opinion, to still be a guy that can play on the edge based on where he is right now. So I really like this pickup. I think this is a talented kid. I think this is a kid that number one, look, y'all, we've said this before. If Notre Dame is going to consistently recruit at a high level, one of the keys to that is being able to get the best players from the Midwest and being able to have success in Michigan. And when you go back and you look at the great Lou Holtz years, when they were really rocking and rolling with recruiting, they were getting great players out of the state of Michigan. It's not high volume. You're not going to get 6 or 7 kids out of that state every year, but go there and get top kids. And we're seeing that with obviously Brandon Davis-Swain. You look at the 2022 class, they got Nolan Ziegler, they got Josh Burnham out of the state of Michigan. They got Rocco Spindler out of the state of Michigan. 2016, they got Dalen Hayes, Khalid Kareem, and Adetokunbo Ogundeji out of the state. So if Notre Dame can continue to go into the state of Michigan and get some of the best players from that state, and this is one of the best players from the state, that's huge. West Bloomfield is a very good football program, well-coached football player. You can see it on film. This is a kid that knows how to play the game of football. So this is a big-time pickup in a lot of different ways. And, of course, having a great defense is about being great up front. And I think that's an important thing. Offer list for this young man: Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State, Ole Miss, Nebraska, Tennessee, Iowa, Boston College, Louisville, Kentucky, West Virginia, Maryland, and Illinois. So let's just briefly pull up some film. We're not going to do a full show about him. We'll talk more about him on Monday when we do more of a full show. But I do want to bring up some film of Brandon, give you guys sort of a glimpse of what this young man is all about, what he brings to the table, and really what Notre Dame is getting in him. So I think this is, like I said, I think this is a very, very good pickup for Notre Dame. So let's pull up the film. You guys don't need to look at me during this. You'll see, as I said in the film, he plays inside a lot. So again, this is sophomore film. That's what I really like about this kid. He is a sophomore. That's an old ranking. He's now listed at 240 by Rivals. You can again see him inside playing over the guard on this particular play. The first thing that you'll notice when you're watching this film, and we see this a lot on his film, his block destruction for his age is really impressive. This is a kid that knows how to play. He's far more advanced in that standpoint than Khalid Kareem was at the same age. And that was something Khalid was always really good at. So, this kid, he's a smooth and fluid athlete. I wouldn't call him explosive at this point in time. But again, he's still a young guy, but he's smooth, he's fluid, he changes direction well, he's light on his feet. He's got pretty good length for his age as well. So there's a lot of things this young man does well. And there you see him coming off the edge in sort of a 5 technique situation. There's a lot of good stuff that you're going to see on him. Here he is again over the guard. You're going to see that. Look at that quickness inside. That is really an impressive play. This is what I'm talking about. Like, he's not super, super twitchy at this age, but he's quick. He's got good balance, good hips, good feet. You see him keying on the ball, bringing it down. He plays with a lot of swagger. This kid's a really good football player. Really good football player for his age. So, and comes from, like I said, a really good program. So this is a strong pickup for Notre Dame. I'm just going to work through his film a little bit. Again, I want you guys to watch his hands, his ability to kind of to get his hands out, get players off his body. That play right there, like, watch this. This is a sophomore. You don't see this type of stuff. That extension, tossing that guy to the side. That's a smaller player, but it's the technique that I'm concerned that I like that really impresses me. Gets his hands up, chucks them. Good closing speed. I think you can see on film why there's some thought that, the projection may be inside. But right now, I mean, if he stays within the, 20, 30 pounds, oh, that's really impressive hand play right there. I could see him being a big end in this defense. I love that hand play. Watch this. Little quick jab. Guy shoots his hands. He just gets him off quickly. Look at that thick lower body, too. You can see that there. You see he's really stout in the lower body. Strong kid, really good frame. Kid can play. That's another example right there. Look how quick he is off the ball. His hands are there. This is bad blocking, but you can see how quick he gets into this gap. Closes one to quarterback. Look at that length. Here he is coming off the edge. I like this. You can see here, too. You can see how stout he is, but look at that hand play. Look, his hands are always moving, working to compete, getting off, keeps his eyes on the quarterback, quickly comes off and gets to the quarterback. This kid can do some really good things. Really good things. Oh, he gets in the back. I mean, again, they don't block him here, but look how quickly he gets into the backfield. Stays low. His pad level's real. Again, I don't know who the coaches are at West Bloomfield, but when I watch this film, and this isn't the first time that I felt this way, they're coached really well. Like, they have a lot of fundamentally sound kids, really well schooled, and again, especially for his age. He's a good football player. So I'll watch a couple more clips here, and then we're going to wrap up our conversation about Brandon Davis-Swain and get on to the blue gold game. So again, this block destruction is really top notch. Really quick hands, strong hands, good closing speed. The thing I like too when you watch him play is he's always got his eyes in the backfield. Like, even when he's working on a getting off of a block or working against a guy, he's always got his eyes in the backfield. And I think that shows me that this kid also has really good feel for the game. He's got a high football IQ. This is an impressive football player. This is the kind of kid you want to start your sophomore class off with. Really good football player. Gonna wrap up here. I think that's a good way to end it right there. All right, so everybody, that is Brandon Davis-Swain, Notre Dame's first commitment in the 2024 class. So Notre Dame is able to go into the state of Michigan and beat Michigan for one of the best players in the state again, which I think we can all say is even adds a little bit more sweetness to this pickup.